did it again.
What's that?
Nothing. Wheels misshapen.
You're gonna have to figure that one out.
Yeah, I need to yell at Carl. That's all that is. And also yell at my cat for being obnoxious. Because no, I've...
Let's do this! Are you ready for a comeback? Are you ready to fly? Are you ready for the moment? Get ready to ride. Calling all the fighters, calling on survivors. Are you up all nighters? We can take it higher. Let's do this! Let's do this! fire running through your veins. Now you're burning brighter. Don't look away. Shout out to the legends rising from the wreckage. Count down the seconds. It's out your engines. Let's do this. I know we've got a long way to go. I know we've got a long road home. I know we've got a long way to go. Let's do this. Are you ready for a comeback? Are you ready to fly? Let's do this. Are you ready for the moment? Get ready to ride. Let's do this. Oh, you know we're gonna do this. Oh, you know we're gonna do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to what is now setting sun LA for the North-South Racing League, and I just realized I spelled South wrong.
To the.
I'm a little tired. But it is the Melee in LA 125 laps at Irwindale Speedway. Another great short track, as we can see on screen right now. These guys are having to share pits because we have 24 drivers and there's not enough spots. But there is no denying that while it is in a very scenic location, the best thing to watch today is going to be on track.
Yeah, this was going to be a great race, you know. Short track racing. I tried a little bit. These corners are pinched small. Like you don't have that much room for when the car wants to rotate and go sideways on you. You're gonna have to get the car slowed down, fully rotate, and then get right back on the gas. If not, you're gonna burn these Hoosiers up, sliding and slipping through these corners.
And that's actually one of the great things about Irwindale is, like you said, it's not a nice round corner. It's kind of pointed at the ends to where these guys, there is actually a great opportunity for multiple grooves to be run. You could run a little bit higher, run the wall, still be able to diamond it like you is the right way around this track, and still be able to be fast in that second groove and not have to worry about someone coming up hitting ya. But with all of these guys that we're going to have out there on track, it's going to make for a bit of tight racing.
Yeah, this definitely gonna be tight racing. I mean, it looks like I'm not sure if it's progressive banking, but it looks like the better banking's up top. But I don't know what's gonna be a preferred line for these guys tonight.
I'm going to make the wild assumption that running low is going to be the fastest way around the track. But again, the big question is going to be, is it going to kill tires? And with the evening coming onto the track with the beautiful sunsets that we're getting to look there, even though there's some high tension lines in the background, it's still going to be a cool track, which is going to help to make these tires last a little bit longer. But again, we've seen these guys on short tracks so far this year. We've seen them on a lot of short tracks over the course of the entirety of 2020, rather than just this being week number 3 of the season. And while we're talking about that, let's go ahead and bring up the standings for the current season. Right now, Mike Alexander, he is in first with 125 points, and that is courtesy of that win to open up the season. With Randy Nichols in second, Gage Killam, last week's winner, who will be starting from the back, is in third. Dustin Shepard is in fourth, with Ryan Johnson in fifth. But we're already seeing 19 points separating last year's winner for this, or last season's winner, and first place.
Yeah, I mean, now it's pretty cool for us being in broadcasters, getting to see two new guys, get their first win, or one new guy getting his first win, and then another guy that didn't race last year comes back in and gets his first win in the, this season, and overall throughout it. And it's not his first time in the actual series, but it's his first window in the whole entire series. It's pretty cool to be able to get back-to-back first-time winners here. So it's pretty cool, kind of shaking up the field here. Your normal winners and top fives weren't up there, so it's good to see different people mixing up this season.
Well, and looking at the current, as we're starting to get some of these guys making their way back out on track, our current leader for practice, Mr. Dante Curtis, who, again, had a little bit of bad luck with some of the inverts as of recent, but still going to be a perennial front runner. But the big story for me tonight is Mr. Jared Apel is back on track after missing the first 2 weeks of the season. And currently in third, Dustin Shepard. Ooh, he's actually making his way back out on track right now. He's in second, but we're going to have to wait and see. Are these practice times going to be able to convert into a good qualification, or did they just get a lucky lap like normally happens with me when I somehow am at the top of the table in practice?
Yeah, I mean, these aren't draft laps, so I mean, there's no really draft effect here. Those straightaways aren't long enough for that to come into effect. So I mean, this is all about getting your car woed down, getting it turned, rotated, and back on the throttle as quickly as possible.
But we've only got about 1 minute before practice is up. We're being told that we need to watch somewhere once we get to the tail end of the warm-up before the actual race. And knowing this group and every other time they've told us to watch for something, there's going to be a lot of damage done to some cars before we start this race.
Yeah, that's what I like about this league. They like to have fun. They got like a 5-minute warm-up. After you're qualifying, these guys are able to kind of go out there and make sure if they have any settings that they change just for qualifying trim, they're able to change it back, maybe steering ratio, brake bias. They might want to change some things around. You get a little 5-minute warm-up section to change it back, get your race trim, test it out for a little bit. But at the end of it, normally they do something crazy. So,
especially on tracks that have something that's capable of providing us with a little bit of fun viewing. But
one track where they jumped in the infield, had the winner stand in the infield, and they were able to jump it.
I can't remember if that was 5 flags or what that was, but we have hit qualifying. Let's see who is going to be the first one out on track, and it looks like it's Mr. Josh Nelms in the 01. Gonna get us started and get us our first lap around the track. Okay, we're gonna jump to Sam Clark in the 5. This is a relatively new name and a very simple paint scheme, so we will see what he has to get this process started for qualifying, as he is getting himself down there. And we'll go ahead and jump up here. Robbie Clavey is currently sitting atop the leaderboard, and then it just takes a few more people to get some laps in. And suddenly, we're seeing laps tick off as Dante Curtis got himself to the top of the list. But I don't know if he just reset the second he got across the line, but right now we're watching Matt Cook in the 15. He is number 2, trying to improve his time. Will he be capable of getting that done? No. He is currently going to be starting in second, pending the invert. So let's go ahead and jump around as Matt Dula is on his way out, getting himself across the line. And let's see, his first lap is good enough for 8th tonight. So let's see, Jeff Mathis is looking to set a time as we're catching him right as he's getting to the front stretch. And let's see what he's able to get done. And no, it must have just caught him right on his outlap.
Yeah, you
that
caught him right
rarely
on his outlap.
happens.
There's only a couple people out there right now still rolling. We only got 2 other ones. They're just having some fun, doing some extra practice there. But Jeff Mathis is coming around, and he's going to be scored
17th.
17th.
All right, let's go ahead and jump. Adam Gable has made his way out in the Mustang look-alike street stock. I do love it when people turn these into look-alikes for the real race vehicles. And I don't know, getting down on that yellow seems a little dangerous to me, but let's see. And apparently not, because that puts Adam up into 5th.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I went out there and did a couple of practice laps myself, and man, you drop it down as low as possible. I didn't go that low. I didn't think we were supposed to go that low. And so I didn't drop it down that low. I kept it above the white line there, and man, that thing is nuts trying to hang on to it coming out of the corner.
All right, and our week 1 winner, Mike Alexander in the 75, gets himself up into 5th, moving Adam Gable back 1 spot. And let's see, is he able to get himself higher? Nah, he's going to slide into the corner and just call it. All right, the 51 is out and starting some laps. Let's see what he's able to do. He's getting down all the way down to that yellow line, and a little shaky on exit, but you got to do what you can to get as much speed. But that was enough for 3rd, and then he's in the wall. So let's go ahead, jump with the 47, and let's actually see if he's able to give us a lap around this track. He's taking it high.
I think he's doing a warm-up lap here. I think he's going to go around, try to get his Hoosiers nice and warm for that 2nd lap here. It looks like a lot of other people try to get a qual lap out in the 1st lap. He looks like he's going to put it down on the 2nd lap here.
And it looks like no, he's just running that high line. Maybe that's just where he's comfortable. And all right, but yeah, he's showing us his way around, and now he's into, for those who do not know, most people know Irwindale in iRacing because this is the only track that has a figure 8. And every 13th week, which is they stop all the officials and just let you run non-ranked races, and they always do a figure 8, and it's where you go if you want to curse all of humanity.
It's nothing but carnage the whole entire time. You go in there expecting to die.
But I'm okay with that. But it looks like we are ready to rock here. So everybody, we have 24 people out there. So let's go ahead while they are in warm-up, I would assume. Yes.
They're in warm-up.
All right. It is officially time for us to go ahead and figure out what kind of an invert we have for tonight. We have 24 drivers. It is like very small numbers so far. So let's go ahead and give her a spin. And big numbers. Big numbers. No, it just loves those low numbers. So only the top 7 tonight will be inverted. And
they're already aware that, man, these guys are on it.
They're watching. They know.
I mean, like we don't have that. Where's the delay? Usually there's about a 20-second delay, but they were, it's on it. I guess the delay time is really low tonight.
Well,
It
it's
was like
depending
3
on
seconds afterwards.
It's dependent on where you are, and apparently me here in Northeast Ohio, it takes 10 seconds no matter what I'm watching. But
So, all right, the invert is 7, so that means let me actually go and actually look at the qualifying order. 'Cause this isn't,
it's no longer set
Yeah.
there.
So Adam Gable started 7 or qualified 7th. He is now going to be your pole sitter. Mike Alexander will be coming 2nd. 3rd will be Will Eastman. 4th will be Matt Cook. 5th will be Jared Apel. 6th will be Dustin Shepard. And 7th will be Dante Curtis. So that's how the invert's going to start out right there. That's the 7 that are going to be flip-flopped.
And honestly, the person that has to be the most frustrated with this at this point, it's been Dante Curtis. He's been strong in qualifying each of these first 3 races and then gets shuffled to the mid-pack every time.
Hey, it's not really mid-pack, but I mean, we're having low inverts. I mean, if we had a 22, I mean, he would go from 1st to 22nd. So, I mean, we're still at, 7 and 8. What was the first one, 3?
I think, yes, it was a very small one, and especially on a track like the LA Coliseum.
Yeah.
That was a blessing in disguise for these guys. But tonight, it is 100% going to be anyone's race. These guys are going to be able to move up because as we go to the blimp view here, this is a very wide track made wider by the general narrowness of these cars.
Yeah, these cars are going to be a blast here. I'm going to see the diving happen because if you see how these guys are going low in qualifying, I mean, hitting the yellow line at the bottom, I mean, there's 3 to 4 lanes that they can use right there if the push comes to shove. It's now the exit of the corner. That's what you got to worry about. Everybody, fading up off that bottom and trying to get a cohesive exit going 3 to 4 wide.
Yeah, as Adam, I'm going to rely on you. How much time do we have, and when do I need to switch to my camera to...
Oh, we got a minute left.
So
right.
I have a feeling that while it's not barrels and we love watching people ram into barrels, I'm very much hopeful that it just means we are going to have carnage into the tires.
That's what it looks like. So go ahead and focus that camera over there.
Did...
That you said pit lane 2.
Nah, it was pit lane. Oops. So we will go ahead and we are just going to apparently just have disappearing cars.
They're going into the best. You see the puff of smoke at the end, though, right there. Some of them have it.
And everyone just... It's one of those strange things that iRacing does. You would think it wouldn't, make them disappear until they're well past the tire barrier, because I feel like I would end up there on accident during the race. And I'm hoping no one gets a door out of the racing surface tonight, even though it would probably be ended by hitting the tires if they didn't.
Yeah, I've had it where you come out here and you go into the abyss and it's a weird feeling. Some of them it drops you off like the face of the earth, so it's kind of like a roller coaster where you just dive, just go straight down.
All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look. And why are my results not showing up?
All right, well, he gets some up there. I'm going to go ahead and go back through it again. So we're going to have Adam Gable now on the pole, Mike Alexander in 2nd. 3rd's going to be Will Eastman. 4th will be Matt Cook. 5th will be Jared Apel. 6th will be Dustin Shepard. And 7th will be Dante Curtis. 8th will be Jesse Womack. 9th will be Brian Hacker. 10th will be Gary Eschen. 11th will be Ryan Johnson. 12th will be Matt Dula. 13th will be Justin Rigsby. 14th will be Jordan Madron. 15th is going to be Al Smith Jr. And then 15th will be Robbie Clavey. Or actually, Robbie Clavey 16th. Josh Nelm 17th. Travis Hoffler will be 18th. Adam, man, I butcher his name. Be 19th. 20th will be Shane Loveridge. 21st is going to be Rodney Huntown. All right. 22nd will be Jeff Mathis. 23rd will be Gage Killam. 24th will be Sam Clark. I don't think I've seen Sam out here before.
No, Sam is definitely a new name for us. And
hey man, good luck tonight. You might get a win here.
I mean, it is very much possible. And that's just kind of how it has been for us. And I am going to go ahead and...
So right now they're chatting over who's need to be where on the track and kind of get everything fixed for this manual invert. So that's what they're doing right now. They extended it out just a little bit before we go green here to get it, make sure everybody's in the right spot.
All right, now let's see if maybe this is gonna work. Yay! And fortunately, software decided to update right before we got started here, so of course everything goes wonky. But we are ready to get ourselves rolling with Adam Gable being in the lucky spot to lead us to green. We are through the invert. Everybody is ready to run. And it is officially time to go green. And it looks like, okay.
One more lap.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't see the pace truck, so I don't know what's going on here. So let's go to the blimp so I can actually, you know, give a good view of this wonderful race that we have tonight in what is now nighttime LA. But we are lined up 2 by 2, ready to get ourselves started. The 91 has a little bit of a lead as they come up to the start line, and we have the flag and we are off. The 75 gets a great jump. Apparently he knew exactly where that flag was going to go. But we're seeing the 51 of Jared Apel get himself down on the low line, try to take it a bit 3 wide, and we're seeing a few things go in and out, but Adam Gable is going to lead us on this first lap. He's getting that low line, but it looks like that outside line running all the way up top is going to probably be the line to be in, as we are going to go ahead and see the 51 try to get himself down in there. And really, these guys are going hard to start, as Jared Apel is going to try to get himself up to the front. He's currently managing to get himself as close to it, but Mike Alexander back up at the front. He had a week away, but now it is time for him to go ahead and show that skill and get himself running in the lead to open up the melee in LA.
Yeah, right now, I mean, you look at through the back of the pack here, I'm looking, it's either you on the top line or the very bottom line. I don't really see too many people going for that middle line unless they have to be. There's a little bit of 3 wide action right there with Ryan Johnson, Jared Apel. Ooh, Ryan Johnson gets a little bit sideways right there in the back of the screen. But yeah, he's the only one running the middle lane. Everybody's either running the outside line or the inside line.
He's got Adam Gable, who's having a little bit of connection issues, popping in and out, and that is not something you want to see on this close of a track.
He's gone.
I think he just gave up.
His scoring's gone. He's gray on my screen. Everybody's asking where he's at on the drivers, seeing where he's at.
As we're going to go ahead and start taking off the laps. But here's the big thing that I'm noticing. Mike Alexander, he's opening up quite a lead as we jump onto his bumper. This is nearly 1 second of a lead that he has going right now.
I mean, he was able to not really abuse his tires by going to the inside line for basically the whole entire time. And he got a little bit clear. He dove down just a few times down to the bottom, but I mean, he's able to kind of save his tires while these guys have been fighting hard. You got Dante Curtis right there fighting on the low line underneath Adam Gable or Jared Apel, and he's trying to get by. I think he's going to get clear right now, and you'll see Will Eastman right there in the background. Dante Curtis is right behind him. Jared Apel. Now we're riding on board with Dustin Shepard there. These guys are fighting pretty hard right now. They know it's a track position track, and you want to get all the positions while these Hoosiers still have some tread life on them.
And we're starting to see quite a few people kind of popping in and out, looking on different lines, trying to find where the speed is, as we'll just kind of jump here. And apparently the lighting effects here in iRacing aren't the greatest, as down the back stretch. Unfortunately, this does seem to be one of those tracks that in real life doesn't really have too much light, as we're starting to see a little bit of 3-wide action possibly coming right now between Gary Eschen, Ryan Johnson, and Jesse Womack. But they think a little bit better of it, but I'm still somewhat amazed to see how many different lines. Some people must just be way more comfortable on that low line, though it seems like the top line is the place to be.
I mean, how long are you going to be comfortable on that bottom line? I mean, to me, unless they're actually getting the car woed down enough, you're not going to be able to do it. We got a battle for second. Dante Curtis, he's going to run the high side, but it dives down low. He's side by side with Will Eastman now. He's diving into the corner here. Turn 3, get down to that yellow line. Will do a slide job and be able to clear him off of 4.
And it also looks like Jared Apel is trying to do the same thing, but Will Eastman is fighting back, seeing if maybe he's going to be able to get himself up alongside and try to do the same thing. But this front pack that was looking like they were going to commit to that outside line, now that we're kind of reaching a little bit of a point that there's some racing coming back into play, they're going to jump back to that low line to make sure they're getting that speed. But it looks like they're doing it in 3 and 4, but not 1 and 2.
Yeah, these quarters are very different from each other, from me driving them. And these guys are driving, we can see it here on the track. They're driving the middle line in 1 and 2. And 3 and 4, they're trying to drop down and hit the yellow line here. I'm probably assuming the banking transition here is way better than right there. So nobody wants to really drop down and hit the yellow line there too much in 1 and 2. They just hug that white line.
But we're seeing the 51 of Jared Apel try to get that run through 1 and 2 and get himself back out. And as he's trying to make the fight, we're seeing Dustin Shepard get himself right back up into this mix. But it looks like through 1 and 2, that outside line is the 1-2 run, because what he makes up mid-corner is gone by exit.
Man, I'm still laughing. I'm over here looking at the lighting effects going down the back straightaway here. Jared Apel's on the bottom. His car was just bright, sunshiny. And Dustin Shepard's on the top line, and you can't see his car at all.
Well, that's
and then
because
just out of nowhere, it just pops there. Whoop.
Graphics settings, but we're starting to see this heat up a lot as Dustin Shepard is trying to get himself around Jared Apel. That low line is doing wonders for him. But again, we're seeing the 13 of Will Eastman. He's not really going away as Jared Apel gets a little bit loose coming out of turn 3 or 4, and that is probably going to be all she wrote, and he's going to be back into second, but he's going to fight back on the outside. The 89 is going to cover him off low. The 51 stays high, trying to carry as much momentum as he can, but the 89 is going to slide right up to the wall and be able to take over third place. But got to get up here to the front. Dante Curtis has tracked down Mike Alexander, and now giving him a little bit of pressure. We are reaching 20% of this race. No cautions at this point. From our estimations, it's going to be a one-stopper for fuel. But the question will be, are the Hoosiers going to hold up that long as the 75 gets a little bit squirrely coming out of 2? And Dante Curtis, he's just running that high line, and it looks like he's going to try to set something up, maybe throw one down through 1 and 2. He's not quite close enough to get the nose underneath. He's going to need to do that one more time. He's a little bit closer entering 3 this time. I think the move is inevitably going to be coming once we get around this lap as we complete 20%. And there it is. He is down below through 1 and 2. Is he going to be able to pull the slide job to get in front? No, not yet, but that is going to force the 75 up onto the high line. And the 03 getting down there. And now the pass is done, and Dante Curtis has taken over the lead of this race.
But Mike Alexander is not going to let him get by unchallenged. He's going to drive down underneath him, coming out of turn 2 at his quarter panel. He's going to now try and dive down in turn 3 and get the slide job done, and coming out of turn 4. Can he do it? No, he cannot. He's going to come out side by side. It's going to let Dante Curtis kind of sail free just a little bit, but Mike Alexander is going to fight back there on 1 and 2, but Dante's going to clear him coming out of turn 2 here. And I think Dante now has the preferred line. He can run whatever lane he wants. And I think he's going to start pulling away from the field here.
As we see, as we get there, the 75 gets a little loose out of the corner, but no, it's officially smooth sailing. He is about a half a second up in front. But now we're going to make some jumps back in the field here as the 14 of Jesse Womack is down on that low line, gets himself up against Gary Eschen. He's going to have that low line going through 1 and 2. He's not going to be in the right position to be able to hold on to that. Oh, and they touch, and the 14 is around, and there is caution.
That's something Dante Curtis did not want to see. Finally got out there and wanted to kind of gap the field there and get that green flag pit stop.
Oh, that was, well, we timed that perfectly. As
yeah, I don't mean, is that a commentator's curse so perfectly?
No,
or
that was
just great
some,
action.
That was some great action. No matter what, any driver is going to see that opening that Jesse Womack had, and they're going to take that. There's no questions asked. But as we get ourselves to a caution, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send us to a bit of a commercial and make you guys see how the sausage is made as we see pit stops. So we're going to go ahead, jump off for just a second here, and I am going to try to get rid of these lighting issues. All right, hopefully that'll fix it as Dante Curtis actually loses the battle off of pit road to Dustin Shepard. Dante Curtis was about a second slower on pit road. So that is going to make it to where he's got a little bit of work he's got to do. And as you said before we went out to let me try to fix it. It's definitely a little bit better. That was the last thing Dante Curtis wanted to be seeing.
Yeah. I mean, Dustin Shepard showed he's fast. He was able to regroup after the invert, drive back up to the field because, I mean, I think he qualified second overall. So he is now leading Dante Curtis. They both had to drive up to the field on that invert, and they both did. They're both quick. But let's see, you know, who's
Well,
going to be able to take it.
Dante Curtis' fast lap is about 1/10 of a second slower. Yeah, that didn't do anything. As the pace truck is off, so the 89 is going to go ahead and lead us to this restart with Dante Curtis down below. So let's see when he goes, and he is off and gets himself barely in front of the 03, and as we hit turn 1, he's got 1 car length, but the 15 of Matt Cook is in the hunt, the 75 right there just below him. So let's see where these guys are going to shake out as we cross the line. The 89 leads the first lap after the restart. We have 36 in the book, and right now the 75's trying to make up some spaces. Gets a little bit of a wiggle there, but that low line coming out of 3 and 4, they have some extra speed, but they're still stuck on the low line through 1 and 2, and no one wants to be there.
Yeah, everybody right now is trying to dig as fast as they can. They got, you know, they understood where the car is at now. They got 30 laps underneath them. Now it's time for them to try to use up these new tires. We got Matt Cook trying to pull on the outside of Mike Alexander. Mike Alexander just wanted to clear him there and get up there so that he could run whatever line he wants to. But he's now stuck running the low line on both sides.
Well, as I'm jumping up to the front here, as Dante Curtis on that last lap set the fastest lap of the race with a 19.18, and Dustin Shepard was a 19.28. So these guys, they are fast, but Dante Curtis, he is right there on the bumper of the 89, and the battles back here are just continuing as this is a gaggle with led by the 75 Mike Alexander, Matt Cook, Jared Apel, Ryan Johnson, Brian Hacker. These guys are leaving no space, and I can't forget Gary Efshin, who's right there. And because of these guys racing so hard, the group behind them slowly catching up as these guys are leaving no space through 1 and 2 as the 38 forces Matt Cook up just a little bit. But that makes it to where the 11 is able to get his nose close to getting 3 wide out of 4, but not quite.
Yeah, these guys are fighting pretty hard. We got Ryan Johnson. He's running the middle line all the way around. He's not really running the bottom like we see other ones. Brian Hacker, I mean, drops around really low, gets to the side of him, wasn't able to clear or stay with him, but you know, it's kind of interesting to see the different lines we got going here and what people are using. But yeah, Brian Johnson's keeping Matt Cook up. He's pinching him off really well right there. And it gets a little loose though coming out of the corner.
Yeah, but that's opening up the door for the 13 of Will Eastman. He keeps threatening to take it 3 wide for longer than a single turn as he is getting down all the way. But Ryan Johnson, he's committed to that middle line right now.
Yeah, he finally got cleared, gets to the wall, so he has the outside line prepared. Maybe he's hoping for a long run. He does not want to drop down to the bottom, kind of ruin his tires. He's trying to baby his tires as much as possible and hopefully run these guys down the on a long green flag run. You know, it's a possibility here for these guys. I mean, we got a 30 lap run in the beginning. I think everybody, you know, it's just a simple mistake there, so it wasn't, you know, something too terrible that we saw. So he's hoping it might go green to the end.
But all of this battling is just opening up the door to where Jared Apel and Mike Alexander, these guys pulled away ever so slightly. But, as I got to get back up here as the battle for first is raging on as Dante Curtis gets himself down below. Can't quite make the position stick, but he's getting the runs to try to get himself around the 89. And that looked like that may have been the right time to make that move, but just couldn't quite make it stick. But he's gonna have to try to set him up exactly like he did with Mike Alexander to take over the lead earlier. He's gonna have to set that up at least 2 turns before again.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to close the gap, and once he closes the gap, then he can try to figure out where he needs to make the move for the momentum. And you know, I was looking at the way they hit the apex. They both hit it differently. Dustin hits it a little bit earlier than Dante does. Dante hits the apex of the center, you know, a little bit farther into it. So it's kind of interesting to see the 2 dynamics of these 2 drivers.
As Dante Curtis, he's just searching for any advantage he can possibly get as they're crossing the line. He's probably gonna have to do exactly like he did last time as he's looking,
yellow.
and caution is out once again. So let's take a quick look, and it looks like Josh Nelms might have been the one that triggers this, as he's getting himself down low and just comes up into the 96, locks it up, and just with that much traffic, there's only so much you can do. And now that that right front is not spinning.
Yeah.
But that collected Adam Gable, Gage Killam. So these guys, that's an unfortunate way to get this started up. But are we going to have it takers on pit road this time? As they're looking down, and they're going to make their way in. And honestly, I'm the person that's going to take the tires as many times as I can, because we had roughly 20 laps worth of racing on these tires, and if everybody but one person takes tires, that person that doesn't is in a little bit of trouble. I'm trying to find the best one for the race off pit road, and that's what I'm looking for. As Dustin Shepard gets himself out first, has a fantastic pit stop. Looks like they're doing right sides only this time.
Yeah, that's what I would, I was thinking in my head is that, if you wanted to jump on this one to do a 2-tire stop on this one, instead of, staying out, you do a 2-tire stop and get yourself a little bit. But it looks like a lot of these guys are doing 2-tire stops. So if you chose 4, if you're near the back, I would have seen that. I would have chose 4.
I was going to say, it looks like 13th on up took 2, and on back from there, other than those that may have nights over after that last incident, all took 2 or 4. So we're going to have to wait and see if those guys are going to be able to make up any kind of time, since we are going to be stacked up 2 by 2 once again. Is that going to be the right call? But if I'm being completely honest, as the lights are off on the pace truck, so we've got to get ourselves in line and ready to go quickly, as Dustin Shepard is going to be the one leading us back to green with Jared Apel on his outside. So let's see what he has in store, and he is off early, got it pointed well, and is going to have a nice run. He's going to have Dante Curtis in tow. He's on the low line as we see Matt Dula in the 17 Sundrop car start to take it 3 wide. But these guys are doing a fantastic job on restarts as we jump back into the pack here, as there's a little bit of a kerfuffle going on as people are taking a 3 wide. Some guys are getting all the way down, but Dustin Shepard up here in the lead on that low line, has the 03 right on his bumper, the 51 on his, and then it's pretty close to 2 wide throughout the pack as Dante Curtis looking to see what he can do on that.
We got a car around. Matt Cook is around. Caution is back out.
Oh, that's...
Looks like he got clipped coming off the corner. I saw it at the corner of my screen I was watching, and it looks like he just got clipped just a little bit.
Let's take a quick look, as it wasn't registered as an incident, but I found it anyway. Oh, just gets a little nudge from Gary Eschen. Helped a little bit farther down by Matt Dula, and at least he stayed out of the tires.
Yeah, I mean, no damage to the cars. Kind of a, you know, one car spin right there. Not really much damage to him. You know, he's at the back of the pack. Go ahead and get some more fuel. Get another set of tires underneath you.
Yeah, maybe see what kind of damage you have to get fixed, and from there just see where the night takes us.
Yeah.
As Dustin Shepard is, yeah, I kind of figured that was going to be a fake. We got about 2 laps worth of racing there, and it looks like the 91 of Adam Gable is going to get the wave around there, possibly get himself closer to the lead lap. Not sure if what lap he's technically on at this point, but after that first incident, I'm amazed to see that car out there running again.
Yeah, let's see. You know, this is the 4th time that, you know, these guys have came to this Irwindale Speedway. Dustin Shepard and Dante Curtis are the only 2 winners of it so far. Dante Curtis got 2 wins on season 2 and 4, and Dustin Shepard was the inaugural winner here in season 1.
So what you're saying is our front 2 are the ones that have won.
Yep, they're the ones going to be the hard to beat tonight. So these guys are going to be fighting it out. Dustin Shepard wants to tie it and be 2 apiece here. So we'll see what's going on here and see what's going to happen.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing this fight play out, because, yeah, that would be a nice way to go ahead and tie things up and have a little bit of bragging rights to where Dante Curtis can't quite say he's the only repeat winner on this track, even though technically there's only been 3 opportunities. But the lights on the pace truck are off. We are gonna be coming to green basically at the half point of this race. We have had 3 cautions, which is uncommon for this group, but given the variety of lines and honestly the relatively high speed nature, I'm not surprised. But we are off as Dustin Shepard on that outside line gets a good jump early, taking the high line, and that is going to be a fantastic start for him as Dante Curtis slots himself right in behind him. Will Eastman takes over 3rd from Jared Apel, and we are back to 2x2 back in this pack as we see the 17 looking like he might have made a run, maybe had to check up a little bit extra, and that's going to open up the door for Mike Alexander to get down below. And it looks like Ryan Johnson is going to try to do the exact same thing. And is he going to be, yeah, he's going to keep the 11 of Brian Hacker up as high as he can. It looks like Brian Hacker may have tag the wall ever so slightly coming out of 2. But again, we're starting to see those 2 distinct grooves through 3 and 4 that we were seeing earlier, and not so many opportunities for 3 wide action as we were.
Yeah, these guys are running either the top lane or the high lane. Not many people run the middle lane. Like I said, it's kind of astounding to see like the huge difference there. You know, we've seen Ryan Johnson. He tries to do the middle lane whenever he's supposed to be on the bottom group. He kind of pinches the guy up above so he can't drop down and get a little bit of too much of a run and clear him. So, but right now the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cars are single file right now, so they're just nose to tail here. Matt Dula's back there. Looks like he's getting pressure from Ryan Johnson now.
And that is to be expected, but as Ryan Johnson gets a great run coming out of 3, and that's going to get him up along that top line, and he's doing what he can to carry as much momentum as he is possible along that wall, and that makes it to where he's back alongside Matt Dula coming out of the turn to where he's able to slide himself up in front, but Matt Dula is now under pressure from Brian Hacker, who is going to get down on that low line, and caution is back out.
Back out with 50 laps to go. We're at lap 75 of 175.
Or 125.
Oh, sorry, 125.
All right, it looks like Jeff Mathis was involved in that. Let's take a quick look, and he's just having a rough night. And it looks like, oh, he just did not, he slid up ever so slightly, got into, that looked like Jesse Womack, and yeah, these guys just, let's just go ahead and take a quick look from Jesse Womack's roll bar, as just a little bit into the wall there. Just, I wanted to use this view because if your spotter's not perfect in that situation and tells you to leave a little extra room, there's no visibility. You don't know that that car is there.
Yeah, just wrong place, wrong time, and good hard racing. I mean, we're just about 5-10 laps after a caution. Every spot counts, and everybody's trying to make up every spot they can.
Well, and yes, about 10 laps from the last caution, but about 20 from the last pit stop for just about everybody. And we had a few takers. Matt Dula, Matt Cook, Jesse Womack, which was involved in that one. But these guys rolling the dice on tires now. Does that mean that if we get another caution quickly, they made the right call?
Yeah, we'll have to see how everything settles out, and who knows if these guys are pitting at the back here, if they're going to be able to make up any ground with these fresh tires. So it'll be hard to tell. I mean, these guys are pushing it hard up front, and they're ahead of them. So maybe they worn out these Hoosiers, got a couple of heat cycles in them. You'll never know.
But we'll have to wait and see as they're getting themselves stacked up. The lights on the pace truck are off. And round 3 of Dustin Shepard and Dante Curtis at the front row. Let's see if Dante has anything for him as we are getting it ready to come back to green. Where is he going to go? Oh, it looks like Dante Curtis manages to time that perfectly and keep himself right along. He's going to drop down very low onto that low line, see what he's able to do, and it's looking like not quite enough as the 51 of Jared Apel was alongside him, decides to take the high line, see what kind of a run he can get. Has to back off to keep out of the bumper of the 03, but Dante Curtis, he is a man on a mission as the laps are ticking away on this 125 lap race. He's going to have to find time to make that move, and caution is back out. And that looks like Josh Nelms may have been the one involved in that. Let's take a quick look. And is that a self-spin? Or no, that was just a little extra love there.
Yeah.
And camera angle didn't give us the best view of what happened there. But just coming through the turn, oh, that was self, and tags Matt Dula on those fresh tires, but not enough. But that 01 definitely a little crinkly. So it looks like, despite the fact that we had a few people decide to take tires on that last stop, or that last caution, the front group continuing to stay out.
Yeah. Their fake game is going on point right there.
And sometimes if you do that,
bad things can happen.
yeah, that's one of those kind of things that you play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and I would be the first person to end up in the tires.
Would you?
Yeah, maybe not the first, but I definitely would end up in the tires.
But yeah, these guys, I know Dante's over there saying, let's get some green laps in, and Dustin's like, I'm happy where I'm at. Just keep on bringing them out. Let's close this race off.
Of course he is. The only problem is the longer you do these restarts, as we saw on that last one, Dante Curtis, he's kind of guessing his game. So he's not really capable of getting any kind of a extra fantastic start. And unless he switches it up this time around, he may be in trouble.
Man, he's doing a good job right now of doing this, so let's see exactly what happens.
All right, as we're getting ourselves lined up 2 by 2, I think what we'll do for this restart is just give it a few laps worth of extra loud and extra crazy as we're coming to it, and just go and turn it up to let me open up a new Coca-Cola. All right, we've let you guys listen to these V8s enough, and now you get to hear us go. As it looked like right as we were going there, Dante Curtis was going to try to set up a pass, and it looks like as he was doing it, that opened up the door for the 51 to be able to get himself down below, as Dante goes a little bit wide through 3 and 4 like we were seeing as as he gets into the rear end of the 51, who probably did not recognize the run that Dante had as he moved up. But let's go ahead and do this.
It looks like Jared Apel got a little bit loose, wiggled a little bit there, and really Dante didn't have much time to reaction for it.
Let's get ourselves onto the Kelly's custom engraving roll bar camera to kind of see what happens here, because I think this is, oh yeah, that is.
Yeah, you know, he's on the bottom line trying to dig as much as possible and gets a little loose there. And Dante, I mean, it happened right in front of him. He had nowhere to go right there. Gave him a little bit of love tap, spun him all around.
And yeah, that's one of those things that as you're racing hard to have that opportunity to fight for the lead, closing this race out, yeah, you may get a little throttle happy from time to time. And yeah, that definitely is one of those things that you hate to be the one to give them the bumper in that situation, but kind of happens.
Yeah, I mean, you know, not much you could do there for it. So I listened to the radio. Adam or Jared said that, you know, he got a little wiggly. He's going to take the EOL for that one. Go to the back. So we're going to have also, another wonderful restart here with what about 20 laps or 30 laps to go?
Yeah, we'll probably be restarting with 30 to go. And unfortunately, after it looked like we may be able to run some deep green flag runs at the beginning of this, the cautions breed cautions mantra, ultimately, it is what it is. There's a reason why people say it.
And it's coming true tonight. I was hoping, you know, these guys started off, got a good 30-lap run, another about 30-lap run. And, but these cautions have started to breed cautions as the laps wind down. The aggression goes up just a little bit more, one notch up. Everybody's trying to get that one extra position, one extra slide job done. And we're seeing everything unfold.
And we have seen some excellent nose chopping off action, especially coming out of turn 4 as we are lined up side by side. Pace truck is away and we're going green to where those guys that drop all the way down, and Dustin Shepard goes very early that time, and that's going to get him completely in front of Dante Curtis to start this stint. And that's what he hasn't been doing. He has been going at pretty much the same point, but he's a little bit slow on his entry, and that lets Dante Curtis close up that gap. And we'll have to wait and see if he's able to do anything with it this time around. And he's right there on the bumper as they go speeding by on the corner, the entry to turn 3. He's not really able to get too much of an advantage crossing the line, but he's just following, and caution is back. And that one is looking like Robbie Clavey was involved in that, as was Shane Loveridge. Let's see what happens. Oh, this just looks like a corner exit kind of thing. And oh yeah, I don't think people are walking away from that one. As
Can we get a medic?
Actually,
Robbie is down. Robbie is down. We didn't hit. Oh man.
I don't think he's going to be leaving the medical center anytime soon after that one. But the 72 is driving despite the fact that I don't think this is an open wheel series and I see a whole lot of wheel.
Yeah. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Jordan Madron. We haven't seen him here all night long in the top 5, and closing laps here, we got 25 to go, and he's peaked the top 5 here. He's sitting there running 4th and was challenging Will Eastman right there for that 3rd position. So he's moved up 10 positions, and right now he shows to be the hard charger where he's at right now in the race.
Pretty handedly right now. The next best is Jeff Mathis, who is up 8 positions, currently running in 14th, followed quickly by the 96 of Al Smith Jr. But
the action here tonight, it's been pretty good. I mean, you know, we've seen some battles throughout the whole entire pack. And I mean, these restarts, I mean, these guys don't want to be in it, but I mean, it's showing some really great talent where these guys driving 2 to 3 wide, dropping top of the lane, bottom lane, some of them diving through the middle. I mean, it's put on a great show for the viewers out there and us up here in the broadcast booth. But, you know, it's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking for these drivers to come off the corner and you just see in front of you and in your mirror, like, cars everywhere scattered throughout the track.
Normally when you're in the sim and seeing that kind of action, that means that there's some form of chaos behind you, an incident, something along those lines. Tonight it's just people run different lines.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally different. Like, you know, we got Roy Hayward out there. He says, you know, people are dropping down, going down into the bottom of the corner. It looks like a faster in a single file, but it all depends on you keeping that momentum. It might get you that momentary wow factor. I've caught them, but then you lose that momentum going down the back straightaway. So, you know, it's give and take there.
As it looks like Dustin Shepard was trying to check up the field a little bit, somewhat succeeds, but he is going to be under pressure from the 03 once again, and the 68 of Jordan Madron is in the ideal line right there on the bumper of the 03. He's going to slide out wide and have the 38 right on his bumper, but gets an amazing run out of the turn, and that's going to put a little bit of pressure on the 03. If he can control those kinds of runs, he's going to be able to get himself up there and in the battle for this win, as we see the 38 run that high line, and the 13 cuts up in front of him. The 38 drops down low, gets below the 13. And we're going to see these guys are going to go side by side into turn 3, and the 13 is around and catches it, but caution is out. Did we? Oh, there was something a little farther back there. That was a masterful save. But let's see what brought that one out. So this is the 15 of Matt Cook and the 96. Oh, the 15 pulls the bumper or the rear wheels off the ground on the 96, and God, that just shows the durability of these cars, that I can have my rear wheels taken off of the racing surface, pile driven into the wall. Yeah, I'll give it a little shake, see how it feels, and we're just going to keep going.
Adam Gable's going to be lucky with the dog, and I think this time he's actually finally going to get his lead, be back in the lead lap after his first 3 laps that he just kind of blinked out and finally came back in.
As it looks like that is the case. He is showing up as on the lead lap right now, but we have 16 laps to go at this point, and I wish I could say that the cautions were over, but it's crunch time. These guys are going to have to make up as many positions as they possibly can. And it's only going to get a little more aggressive as we move forward. But let's do a quick check on the hard charger. And Jordan Madron added 1 to the tally, and he's going to be starting in 3rd on that inside line with Will Eastman next to him. But
does he regret passing him being on the bottom line, or do you want to start on the bottom line? So I mean, you know, there's some tracks when you're like, crap, I passed him. You know, you're happy to be in that 4th spot or the 3rd spot, and you pass somebody, and you're now in a different lane that you want to be on a restart here.
You know what? Normally in this situation, especially on a track like this, it's not looking to be a death sentence on that inside line. Especially if he's able to time his jump well, he's going to be able to at least be side by side with Will Eastman coming out of the turn, and then ultimately being on that low line is going to be an advantage for him coming into 3 and 4.
Oh, pace truck is off. They are lined up. Let's see where Dustin Shepard decides to go.
Go late, buddy. As he waits until the first of the restart zone lines there and gets himself out in front of Dante Curtis. But the 68 gets a little bit loose on entry, and that's going to drop him back into 4th. He's going to run the outside line. We're seeing Ryan Johnson get himself down on the low line. He's going to get a little squirrely coming out. But 2 by 2 after the top 3 is Will Eastman. He's looking to see if he may be able to get a run. Dante Curtis gets the nose down below the 68. Is he going to be able to hold on to this? Get the good run off of the corner? No, the 68. Yeah, the 89 is going to be able to hold on to the position for a few moments. Is Dante Curtis going to get that run? No. These guys waiting until the bitter end as the 89 is... Oh, there's a... Well, this is the perfect view because we're seeing some 3 wide action as Mike Alexander is trying to get there, but Dante Curtis takes over the lead of this race. The 89 crosses him over into turn 3, gets the position back, but Dante Curtis is now down below, has the nose. And are these guys just going to swap back and forth for the rest of this race?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Dustin Shepard got past, I mean, he did a heck of a crossover to get right back underneath him. And I think it caught Dante off guard right there. So now he's playing defensive, but he was able to get back underneath him, do another crossover. And now they're just going to race side by side. We got 8 laps to go.
As these guys are going to stay as side by side as they can, but if we
caution,
and it looks like Dante Curtis is going to be able to control another restart tonight, and that is going to be a boon for him being able to hold on to this. So,
I think I see Jared April jumping the pits.
I got it right here, I hope. As 3 wide action. Oh, that was hold please.
Yeah, we'll get a blimp view here. There's 2 wrecks happen simultaneously.
All right, let's see. As the 75 gets a little bit loose, the 68 does as well, gets into the 51, and Travis Hoffler ends up in that one. There's just pure chaos.
To me, I think Matt Dula saw what was happening on the bottom line between those two and tried to move up a little bit and to try to avoid what was going on, and that just he just got into him right there. So that's kind of where I'm looking at it, just from the outside in. Matt saw what was happening right here, saw him going loose, goes up high, tags him, spins him around.
Yeah, and that one's that's a racing incident. There's no other way to describe that, because honestly, he was trying to avoid the wreck that he could see. You're focused on what's going on in front of you, and sometimes the periphery doesn't exist while you're trying to avoid somebody spinning in front. But we are going to basically have a green-white checkered finish here, because we are going to have 2 laps to go. Well, no, it would only be 1 to go. So it is officially green-white checkered, where if we can get the first lap completed, we get the white flag. There's no hope of another caution coming out at that point. And then we'll get the checkered. So Dante Curtis passed at the exact right time, because now he has to defend for 2 laps total.
Yeah, man, nail biter right here. Coming down to the end, Dante looks like he's going to choose the bottom line here. We'll see if that's going to work. We have Dustin Shepard choosing the outside line every single time, so let's see what Dante can do off the bottom line.
I mean, if he's comfortable there, that's the line that you take. Plus, he has a shorter distance as he goes early, and that is going to be able to get him a significantly bigger buffer than he was seeing with. And
Caution.
all right, that looks like Jordan Madron may have been the heart of that one there. Let's see what happens. Oh, that is just trying to be aggressive, get the nose under Travis Hoffler, and
That's all she wrote. Well, the race is over.
oh, we only had 1 green-white checkered, so Dante Curtis is going to go ahead and take the win, making it 75% of races tonight, or at Irwindale, followed by Dustin Shepard. And where did Ryan Johnson come from?
Just probably had just a good rebound right there on that last restart. And looks like the hard charger's gonna be tied tonight. Just looking at this, be Rodney and Jeff.
I don't know how those are decided, but once again, our winner, Dante Curtis. Second place is Dustin Shepard. Third, Ryan Johnson. Fourth, Brian Hacker. Fifth, Mike Alexander. Sixth is Will Eastman. Seventh, Gary Eschen. Eighth, Al Smith Jr. Ninth is Justin Rigsby. 10th, Matt Cook. 11th, Jesse Womack. And 12th, Rodney Huntoon.
13th is going to be Jeff Mathis. 13th, or sorry, 14th will be Adam. Butcher his name. And then it'll be Adam Gable after that. And 15th, we're going to have, that would be in 15th, Matt Dula's in 16th. 17th is Travis Hoffler. 17th Yeah, I'm sorry, it's kind of weird for me. 18th is Shane Loveridge, 19th is Jordan Madden, 20th will be Gage Killam, 21st is Jared April, 22nd is Robbie Clavey, 23rd is Josh Nelms, and Sam Clark did not start the race tonight.
All right, it is officially time to go ahead and start chatting with our winners. And for the first time this season, we get to chat with Mr. Dante Curtis. That was, you made the pass at the exact right time.
Yeah, it was pretty calculated. I felt we had the best car there. I mean, but then again, we practiced last night. I mean, he was equally just as fast. And there at the end, I just tried to, the whole race, we were just kind of trying to maintain our 1-2 here and just stay out front. And luckily we did. And I was just kind of riding behind Dustin there. We was working with each other on restarts, but the closer and closer it got, the more and more I was like, all right, we're going to have to race it out here. So I was planning on riding behind him a little bit and get more of a gap, but he made a mistake there, and I had them guys all over my bumper, and I had to go.
Oh man, it was a heck of a it was a heck of a battle for you right there at the end. I mean, you made the wonderful move, but he made a heck of a crossover on you, man. What was going through your head right there when he dove right back underneath you, going in the corner?
Yeah, I thought I was going to be clear there, and I was going to give him that top lane, and he just made it was a really good move what he did. I would have done the same thing if I could. I thought we were going to wreck going in there, so I backed out of it, and I thought I could cross him over, and then I looked in the mirror, and there was Will. But thankfully, I think Will kind of saw what was going to happen there, and instead of wrecking us both, he thankfully backed out. But it was just I love this place. This was my pick for the schedule. Thought we would have been even quicker than that, but just a bunch of cautions just hurt us. Really, it was two different corners. I mean, you can keep your momentum up on the high side kind of in 1 and 2, but then in 3 and 4, you have to be on the apron. But I was able to, once everybody stacks up on the bottom there, I was kind of able to run the top in 3 and 4 and keep my momentum up. So they'd get through the corner better, but by the time we got to turn 1, I'd be able to get inside of them. And then as long as I was inside of them through 3 and 4, I knew I had a pass made.
Yeah, that's what we got to see from you getting around Mike Alexander towards the beginning of the race, right before that first caution came out. And I was expecting to see it a few more times throughout the course of the night, but it just seemed that you were picking your battles when to actually start to use that, to not overuse it, to where you could use it at the end.
Yeah, we lucked out, or we didn't really luck out getting all these cautions. I would have liked to have run this race, just to have enough cautions where we didn't have to pit for fuel, but really it's just, sorry, I got a message there. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it was just, I could pick my battles early with Dustin or with everybody else, but I tried that winding my momentum up in 3 and 4 on Dustin, and he'd just kill me every time. So I knew I was going to have to try something different than that, and I really couldn't figure out anything. I could maybe cut the bottom, really diamond it in 1 and 2, drive in, and then just drag the brake and turn it down the hill. But I mean, he was really good tonight, and he probably deserved to win this race just as much or more than me. I hate he coming third there at the end after working with him all race. We really just wanted to finish 1-2.
No, it was a great run. We're glad to finally get to chat with you this season.
Yeah, it's been too long, man. I ain't been looking at my fuel gauge. I've been looking at my stopwatch, not the fuel gauge. So the first 2 races really ain't been our cup of tea.
No, it's one of those kinds of things that we knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah, and I figured if there's one race on the schedule I should win, it should be the one track I picked. That I mean, that'd be kind of embarrassing, wouldn't it? But But no, I'm really thankful I won. I just got to thank. First, I got to apologize to Jared Apel. We've had some run-ins in the past. We're all good. I hope we're all good. He made a better move than me. I messed up trying to wind the top up there and get around Dustin. He got under me, and I went to cross him over, and he got loose. And about the time I went to cross him over, and I turned him, but he took the EOL and was really good about it. So I gotta thank him. All the guys back at DCD Racing: Dustin, Phil, DJ, Devin, Brandon. Hate the rest of those guys couldn't be here tonight. Just gotta thank my dad watching. Circuit World, American Racer South, Divine Towing, just everybody that helps the league, and you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast every week.
It is our pleasure, and just make sure that you guys keep the great racing coming.
You got it. Thank you, guys.
Have a good one, man.
User left your channel.
All right. Another one that we haven't really had a chance to as we pull him up in the middle of a statement.
How you guys doing?
Well, how are you doing? Because it looked like you guys were going to control the race, and then Dante manages to get the pass done at the exact wrong time.
Yeah, the caution messed us up. It was Dante and I were crossing up, changing. So we were too fast in practice. I said everything team-wise worked out the way we wanted. 20 to go, 15 to go. We're like, it's time to race. We'll gap ourselves, and whoever wins. And like I said, that green-white checker on the outside, Will got it. He timed the restart, really well, and he was able to edge me out of 2 there as the caution came out. But I said it was overall a good night race for the DCD, Zoofab Garage Car, and the whole team. So we worked out to a T.
I'm going to ask this question.
Okay.
You came in second, right?
Well, yes, because Will stopped. He Mark Martined it and stopped before the last lap. But before that, yes, it was third. But yes, he stopped and didn't complete the last lap. Then that gave me second.
I will be the first to say that is like a nightmare of mine that I'm going to do that.
Yeah, so like I said, got second place. Good points night, 0x. Got bonuses, led most laps. So I said it was a good night for us.
Yeah, you lose to the only other person that's ever won there in the series here. So you did your best, and it came down to the top 2 people that are the best here at this track by statistics. So 4 races, you've got 1, and he's got 3.
Yeah, I wish it was 2-2, but
we were both rooting for that one.
So like I said, after practice last night, Dante, he picked the track because he's fast here. I said I'm fast here too. Usually, I said it's him and I are so close. It's who can string together 3 or 4 good laps with no mistakes. And like I said, and so we were crossing each other up because we were racing to win for that last caution on the green-white checker. And I said it was exciting. I said hopefully everybody enjoyed the broadcast. I said, and it put on a good show for everybody.
That move that you did set him up for that crossover, that was fantastic. I didn't know it was coming. Like it like threw me off the guard as well. Just to be up here in the broadcast booth, because once he slid up in front of you, I thought it was all she wrote, and you just dove right back. And I was like, all right, there he goes. We have a battle.
It was close. Like I said, because he eased up real slow, like he was going to block, and I didn't want to give it up yet, and I went hard left, and luckily I didn't clip him as I was crossing his bumper. And but yes, Dante and I, we always race really well together. So we've raced together for 3 or 4 years now, in different series and just whatever when we're on iRacing. So we know each other's habits and the space needed.
Yeah, you're nicer to your teammates than I am.
If we were racing and some door contact might have happened for the win, it's going to happen. I'm not going to wreck him, or he's not going to wreck me, but it'll little nudge or little door jam will ensue though.
I'll keep that in mind going forward to slide that one in there when you two connect at some point or another.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Josh and his teammates just like to wreck each other under caution. That's what he likes to do.
That's not good for points.
No, but it's good for the comedy that
Ensues.
perpetuates for the next 2 years.
Right.
But it was a great run from you tonight. Second place isn't anything to scoff at, but maybe next time Dante will take a little.
No, he won't give one up. He's gonna run you hard and clean and till the end. So that's why we have fun doing this.
Anyone to thank before we let you get to celebrating?
Of course, Ghost Fire Media, you guys do a great job. I usually watch replay the broadcast. It's always great. All the admins at NSRL, all the drivers that come out and race with us every season. A lot of the same guys have been here 3 years. We have some new guys this year, which is awesome. J&G Hardwood and 5 Star Realty. Dante for the paints, DCD. Zoo Fab Fabrication, and that's about it, man.
All right, great run. Looking forward to seeing when we get to chat with you potentially next week.
Hope so.
Especially considering we're off to North Wilkesboro and.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe not next week.
No, it'll be good. No, I'm fast there. I'm fast. It's gonna be a bump. There'll be a lot of bumping there next week. So.
Oh yes, then I'm very much looking forward to it. So, all right, we will catch you next week, sir.
Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
User was
All
moved out of your
right,
channel.
and then finally,
User was moved to
Mr.
your
Ryan
channel.
Johnson, the second one tonight that we catch mid-sentence.
What's up, guys?
I think we gotta pull them into the waiting room for a half a second so they know what they're getting moved.
Nah, it's more entertaining for me this way.
Fair enough.
Up 8 positions and getting the spot on the podium.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell that happened. Will was ahead of us, and I don't know what happened, but
I can tell you exactly what happened. We've had this happen in other leagues. So when you do a green-white checker that finishes under caution, you have to go all the way around the track until you cross the finish line. If you stop early and exit the race, you are scored at the back.
okay. I would say when I looked up in the top left corner, I saw a white flag, and I think that was right when Will stopped, and I'm like, oh boy. I don't know what he was doing, I guess. That sucks for him. Yeah, I mean, we'll take a third even if it comes this way. I feel like we had a faster car than we showed most of the night, but it is so damn hard to pass here. Even with as much room as there is, it's difficult.
It feels like there's a lot of room for you guys, but in reality, there's not. It's either, for the most part, either you chose the very bottom lane or you chose the very top lane. We saw you all night, though. Like, you didn't choose the very bottom lane most of the time. You chose to kind of run the middle to high lane and kind of keep the guy on the outside, so he didn't have a really room to move at all. You just kind of kept him there at bay, and so he couldn't get that run down the straightaway on you.
Yeah. The last couple of times I've raced here in these, it seemed to be that was the only way to pass, and it took multiple laps to do it, because you gotta pinch them up, but at the same time you gotta give them room, because you don't want them to run on the wall and bounce back and hit you, take you both out, and like I said, it's difficult. So I was comfortable running the high line. I wasn't very good at the bottom, I felt, until the end when I started following everybody down there, because sometimes I didn't have a choice, and I'm like, well, here we go. We're gonna find out what happens. Good luck, everybody.
Good time to learn 3/4 of the way through the race.
Hey, no better time than the present, right?
But it was one of those quiet nights that, you know what, making up 8 spots, You were only one short of being the hard charger.
Oh man, I was looking at that. I was wondering.
Or tying, be the third one in tying for the hard charger.
Damn. Yeah, I was looking at that. I was wondering if I got the hard charger or not, but that's all right. We it's for me. It's kind of upsetting. I don't usually go for the hard charger, but boy, I screwed up at qualifying tonight.
I mean, you got a time on the board. You still end up with the podium, and it'll be helpful for the points.
Yeah, definitely. That's always the big picture is just trying to rack up points throughout the season. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we used a drop week last week because of equipment malfunction. But it's all right. We got more races. Gonna see what happens. Just take it week by week.
Yes, man. Well, hopefully we'll get you back up here. Not your usual finishes that you had or strong races. You're usually up in the top 5 most of the night. But kind of a slow start for the season. But we know you're going to ramp it up and give us some really good action and be back up in the frame as the season goes on.
Yeah, we're definitely going to try to. We got to do all we can to try and keep that title. I know Dustin, he's been hungry since I think it was his season 2, and me and Dante, we're always battling each other pretty hard. So, and then, not to mention, the newcomers. We've had 2 first-time winners already this season. So, it's gonna be an interesting season for sure.
Yeah, it is. But great run. We'll possibly chat with you at North Wilkesboro next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care, sir.
Left your channel.
All right. That is going to do it for us here on Ghostfire Media. Another great week with the North-South Racing League. But we will catch you on potentially Wednesday with Nick and Randy for the Sim 500 Truck Series. And next week, same time for North Wilkesboro with the North-South Racing League. But for Ghostfire Media, I'm Josh Laston. That's Adam Wood. We will see you on another evening.
Thank you for watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.